Donald Trump held a rally in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he spoke to a much smaller than usual crowd. Temple University Center has a max capacity of around 10,000 people, and I saw some empty seats in there. That's a far cry from the 100,000 plus that he claims came to see him in Wildwood, New Jersey recently. It was really around 30,000, but that was a blue state. You'd think he'd be able to get out a lot more people in a place like Pennsylvania that's a swing state. Let's take a look at the biggest moments from the rally, and make sure you watch all the way to the end, because in the last clip, Donald Trump appears to give away part of his strategy going into his upcoming debate with Joe Biden, and it sounds painful. Donald Trump likes to use these rallies to promote local candidates as well, so it was no surprise that the Republican candidate for U.S. Senate, Dave McCormick, was in attendance. And when Donald Trump went to introduce him, it seemed like Donald Trump forgot what state he was even in.
And we have a man who's a warrior, a great military person, an incredible guy, and we have to elect him as the U.S. Senator from your state.
I think Donald Trump might have forgotten who he's even talking about and what state he's in. Poor Dave McCormick couldn't even get the Trump endorsement back in 2022 when he was running for U.S. Senate and trying to get the Republican nomination. That ended up going to Dr. Oz, who got his butt whooped on election night by John Fetterman. And now Dave McCormick is back, but he's got a much more formidable opponent in the incumbent Bob Casey. However, he's gonna have to work on those speaking skills. Watch as he flubbed his lines at the Trump rally.
And we need to return to pro-growth policies. Created the economy under President Trump, low employment, low inflation, wage growth. We need to go back to those days, but...
Low employment? You mean low unemployment, Dave. But you're right, you told the truth. Donald Trump is the first president since Herbert Hoover to actually lose jobs during his administration. Crime is going to be one of Donald Trump's biggest talking points going into the election. Even though it's down significantly this year, Republicans continue to tell everyone that it's up.
Unbelievably crooked Joe Biden is going around trying to claim that crime is down. He says crime is down. Crime is so much up.
It's so frustrating listening to Donald Trump and Republicans tell us that crime is out of control. According to the FBI, crime is plummeting in America. We're seeing double-digit drops in most major categories. And when it comes to murders, we're on track to have the lowest amount of murders since 2014. That's before the Trump administration. And that would be the 5th lowest number of murders in a year since they started tracking this stuff back in 1960. And listen to this nonsense from Donald Trump about how hard it is to buy a bar of soap.
The convenience stores are closing down left and right. The pharmacies have to lock up the soap. The soap, you want to buy a little bar of soap? You got to go through a big deal. Open up the glass, open up the steel. You can't keep a bar of soap. People walk in, they just take it. You can't buy toothpaste. You can't buy a toothbrush. You want a toothbrush, it takes you 45 minutes.
Does anyone out there really think Donald Trump is walking into convenience stores and buying anything? And in what world does it take 45 minutes to buy a toothbrush? This guy is so out of touch, it's incredible. In one of the most disgusting moments of the night, Donald Trump told the crowd about his next terrible business idea, and it involves migrants fighting each other. Listen to this craziness.
I told Dana White of UFC, I said, here's what we're going to do. You know, these are tough cookies coming into our country, coming with prisons and mental institutions. I said to Dana White, UFC, he's got a big fight going on right now. He's a good friend of mine. You know what he said the other day? They said, who's the toughest person you've ever met? He said, definitely Donald Trump. He said, Donald Trump. How about that? But I said, Dana, I have an idea for you to make a lot of money. You're going to go and start a new migrant fight league. Migrants, only migrants. And then at the end of the year, the champion migrant is going to fight your champion. And I hate to tell you, Dana, I think the migrant might win. That's how tough they are.
It's so disgusting the way Donald Trump and Republicans talk about these migrants. These poor, miserable people are just looking for an opportunity. They're willing to take very little pay and do difficult jobs that we all benefit from. And I know every single person out there would do the exact same thing if we were in their shoes. And now for the moment I promised you at the beginning of the video. In a moment of what I think is pure projection, Donald Trump appeared to give away a bit of his strategy for his upcoming debate with Joe Biden. Listen to this.
Because they want to get him good and strong, so a little before debate time he gets a shot in the ass, and that's... They want to strengthen him up. So he comes out, he'll come out, I say he'll come out all jacked up, right? All jacked up.
I genuinely think Donald Trump and Republicans are terrified of what Joe Biden is about to do in this upcoming debate. They've lowered the bar so much that all Joe Biden has to do is show up and have a normal debate, and he'll knock it out of the park. So they're prepping their audience for Joe Biden having a good performance by saying he's going to be on drugs. I also wouldn't be surprised if sleepy Donald Trump needs a little pick-me-up before his debate with Joe Biden in order to keep up with him. In any case, I think Americans are going to see a perfectly fine and normal Joe Biden. But in Donald Trump, they will see an incoherent, rambling man who cannot color within the lines. Donald Trump may feel on top of the world when he's speaking to his sycophants at rallies like this. But during the debate, it'll just be Donald Trump, Joe Biden, and the moderators in a TV studio with no audience. And I think Donald Trump is in a lot of trouble.